friend, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a nice roundup of wax items that I have finished off. I'm gonna go brand by brand just to make things simple. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I have surprisingly only one from Supertarts. I feel like that's been abnormal of me lately, but I've been really focusing in on like bags of wax versus clamshells, but I just couldn't help myself. I decided to melt this one called Faith, which was one of the ones that they offered post an advent calendar. And the notes of this were maple latte, peanut brittle, and tres leche milk cake. This I purchased, according to this, or I got on March 1st of 2022. Oh my gosh, this, as soon as I put it on the warmer, it smells like pumpkin peanut brittle. Had I known this, I may not have purchased the candle I recently picked up at the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale. But the thing is with this particular scent is I don't think these still exist. Like that's the thing about the advent calendar is she opens up a pre-order for scents from the advent calendar, but then I don't think they typically stick around. It's very hard for me to keep track of what's going on with Supertarts because the brand or the company, the way she's selling things keeps sort of changing and evolving, which is totally cool. It's her prerogative, no problem there, but I just don't necessarily stay afloat of all the information. So I don't think this still exists, but if I could come across these scent notes, I would definitely get it again because I really loved it. And even though this wax was 2 years old, it performed beautifully. Supertarts wax does perform really, really strongly, which I always appreciate. I also got one from Mainstays, which is Lilac Breeze. This is 100% just fresh cut lilacs from Bath & Body Works. These are super cheap. I think they're $1, maybe $2 from Walmart. You don't get a ton of wax, but with this scent, it was a real like powerhouse. It had strong throw, strong longevity. This is not true of every Mainstays wax that I've tried, but this one was great. It definitely scratched my itch, my desire to have this scent, fresh cut lilacs from Bath & Body Works. So I would definitely buy this again next time I was craving it, probably around the next spring season. I've only got one from ScentSationals. This was Cashmere Cream. This I purchased in July of 2022. It was not great performance. I love the subtle scent on cold. Like it almost has a very vanilla, like it's like 3/4 vanilla, 1/4 maybe like a cologne or a musk scent. Really enjoy it, but it is a soft scent and it just sadly doesn't have the longevity. It didn't have really the scent power I like from scents and I'm used to from ScentSationals. And I'm not sure if it's because this particular one didn't have a lot of oil in it or if it just never was going to be a super strong scent. It just is a light scent in general. But even being a light scent, I had to really hunt for it when I walked into this room where I had it melting and it wasn't great. So wouldn't get this one again. Also have a wax melt from GooseCreek. I was poking around their website recently and I'm also pretty sure GooseCreek, at least their wax melts are sold at Walmart. And I was curious, they had a bunch that were clearancing out. This was called Sunday Drive. I don't have the scent notes. Oh no, they're maybe inside, let me look. No, I don't have scent notes for this, but it had sort of like cactus blossom vibes from Bath & Body Works, but it just wasn't a great performer. I don't know if it's because it was being clearanced out, so it was on the older side, or if that's just their MO with their wax melts. I don't think, I maybe got one other one. I don't know. I didn't get enough to be able to make a sweeping generalization about GooseCreek wax melts, but it just didn't excite me. I like the scent a lot on cold, but performance-wise, it wasn't fabulous. So I don't know if I'd go back because these are not inexpensive. So I don't know, we'll see. But right now I'm not super sold on their wax melts. I have what I think is the last of the Fat Wax Fruit Loops blend sampler that I got. This is just straight Fruit Loops. It's from 2018. Despite it being old, it literally smelled like a box of Fruit Loops in my house for not a super long period of time, but for like a decent day's worth of melting. This entire little cup, I wanted to eat Fruit Loops because it smelled so strongly. I really feel like the sampler, I like the idea of it, but I think the Fruit Loops oil is really dominant. So whatever it was being mixed with, all I ever got was Fruit Loops. So it was a lot of me just using Fruit Loop scented wax, which wasn't necessarily my favorite, but I did melt through it. It was fun, and I think I'm finally done with this sampler. Ooh, I have what I feel like might be the oldest wax in my collection. I really hope I don't have any more. This is from Waxmosphere. I don't even know if this company still exists. This was at like the height of me trying out any brand I could kind of just buy wax from, and that was really when I was doing a lot of advent calendars and samplers. That's still, I think, personally my main way of buying vendor wax. I don't love to dig through websites and read 100 different scent things. I don't find that experience very fun for me, but this was the 12 days, and they had each one of on the first day of Christmas, all of that. So this was 10 Lords of Leaping. It was orange zest, peppermint, and warm vanilla. This didn't really have, I only had 1 cube left in here, which was abnormal. On cold, I can really smell the peppermint, but it just didn't have really any scent. But it's, I mean, super old at this point, so I'm not that surprised. I'm just glad that I finally melted it, and I'm pretty sure I don't have any more from this. It just sort of was lingering and I think got buried in my wax collection. I've got one from Glitterati. This is from June 2020, and it was Asian Plum. This was a scent that I know I had gone on and off of, which isn't my usual style. It didn't really excite me as a scent, and I have to say, I feel like her wax is good. I like the scent, but it's not as long lasting as other wax that I've purchased. You know, Supertarts wax, I get really intense long-term throw from it. Same thing with Broadway wax. So this just doesn't necessarily hold up as strongly, but it could also be because it's older. I don't really know. I don't think I have a ton more Glitterati in my collection. She has also changed her business model. And I do like that better because at least you can purchase scents you want versus prior, the scents that I had amassed came from just get what you get bags basically. So I do like the switch, but it is very difficult to stay on top of when things are available and reading like the long list of things. That just tends to be a turn off for me. It's just a personal shopping preference. So I'm not sure how much more Glitterati will be in my future. Okay, now we can move into vendors that I have more than one item used up from. So I have 2 from Rainbow Melt. I have from 2 different samplers. This was Strudel and Spice, which was sweet pie crust, cinnamon sugar. It was poured on 9/6/20, very nice. And then Frosty Days was icy peppermint, eucalyptus, juniper berries, and sage. This was poured on November 7th, 2019. They were both fine. They were pretty small, so they didn't give me the longest duration of wax melting, but they were pleasant scents. I've got 2 from Better Homes and Gardens that I recently purchased. This first one is Peony and Blush, which is bergamot, mandarin, peony, jasmine, and orange blossom, which, this was so good. This would be a scent that I would really like as a body care. Very much enjoyed it. I find that Better Homes and Gardens wax performs really well. You do 2 cubes at a time in my household, and then when it starts to die off, I toss a 3rd cube in, and then I completely dump that wax out and start again. It's basically like a week's worth of wax for me. I very much liked the scent. And then the other one I did was Raspberry Vanilla Smoothie. This one, I liked it in theory, but it had sort of like that almost like artificialness to it. There was something inauthentic about it when I really burrowed into it and melted it, so I probably wouldn't get this one again. They describe this one as raspberry, vanilla, cream, and sugarcane. Well, let's move into Dessa's Homespun scents. Quite a few that I've melted through. The first one that I grabbed was this one called Fruit Loops. This is super old. Like, this was probably one of the first purchases I made for vendor wax. That's hard to say. And I just don't particularly need any more Fruit Loops in my life. It was a decent performer, especially for being how old it was, but it's just not my favorite scent. Then I dug back into Advent Calendar and Disney sampler. So I did Soarin', which was from the Main Street sampler. I have Marshmallow Fireside, which was toasted marshmallows, smoldering woods, fire toasted vanilla, and It's a Bath & Body Works type dupe, which I agreed with. Then there was Cranberry Orange Chiffon Cake, which was orange chiffon, tart cranberries, and vanilla glaze. Another one from the advent calendar was Nutcracker Sweet, gingerbread sugar cookies, cinnamon rolls, and honey sweet cakes. I did like the bakeryness of this. And then back to Disney Sampler. I've got Neverland Flight, Pirate Voyage, Ice Cream Parlor, Library of Enchantment. Ooh, this one I really didn't like the scent of. It truly smelled like leather. Yeah, it was not my jam. And then hot pretzels. Like I talked about in my last wax trash talk, the Disney Sampler overall wasn't the best performer for me. I did get these samplers in 2021, so I don't know if that's playing a role, but I normally would cut those in half because they're pretty decent sized pieces of wax, but I wasn't getting enough scent throw or longevity, so I just started throwing in the entire wax tart, and that made things better, but still not what I'm accustomed to. I did not experience that as much with the advent calendar, but the Disney Sampler I wasn't thrilled with, so I'm just trying to melt it as soon as possible. I think at this point, I'm either done or super close to being done because I've been forcing myself to choose those ones over other things that are currently at play for wax options for me. And then we certainly wouldn't be having a wax trash talk if I didn't talk about Dessa's Homespun scents. I'm just obsessed with her wax. She is, I do believe, still closing. She's just at this point making product based on what she has in stock. And then once she's depleted that, she will no longer be in business, which is heart-wrenching, but it is what it is. Most of what I have, I'm pretty sure, are samples that I've used, stuff that just came in orders. So I have jam and cookies, which was blackberry jam and butter, strawberry jam and vanilla cake pops. This one was really yummy. Butter my buns, honey buttered rolls, blackberry jam, peach jam, cheesecake, and country cream. Just okay for me. He's Fierce, which was Fierce, Gold Sugar, Blackberry Bliss. I didn't particularly care a ton for this scent. Then I had a mermaid tail, green apple, sweet strawberry, and lemon curd. What did this one smell like again? Oh yeah, this was just like a generic one. I don't know, it wasn't super thrilling for me. And then this last one I really did like. It was called Blow Your Mind, Grape Jolly Rancher, Blow Pops, Blue Raspberry, and Cotton Candy. This one I actually, which is super rare for me, I did not let the scent die out. Once it warmed up and I got a smell of it, I really didn't like it. So I'm a hot wax dumper. So I immediately got rid of it, which normally I just like swallow it. It's not a big deal. I just let it air out, but I couldn't with those. So I'm happy to have worked through all of those samples. And then I have one full-size one that came interestingly packaged. It was a clamshell that came in a bag. It was called City of Stars, which was Pizzelle Custard Trace Magnifique Pound Cake. Oh, this one was so good. I have to say, admittedly, I didn't particularly care for this clamshell style because you can't really, with the way it lays in, you can't really break the wax into easily discernible cubes because you have basically like a flat layer here before it filters into the actual stars. It's just a little nitpicky preference wise, but it's fine. The scent of this was so good. At first I was like, oh, it's kind of like a vanilla scent. I don't know, it seems kind of basic. No, it was basic in the best way. I really liked it. I wouldn't be upset if I had more of it. This, I'm pretty sure, was still when she was using the model of doing a musical each month and then putting together a box that you could just buy the box of. So I don't know if this scent would still exist, but it was really, really lovely. I did enjoy it. All right, so there you have it. Those are all of the wax products that I have melted through. I love that I'm starting to really take a bite out of my wax collection. And I'm so happy that you chose to tune in today, and I'll catch you in my next video real soon. Bye.